We are here at floor 105. This floor is pretty annoying, so I'm going to go over the second part of this fight a little bit before we actually get into it. The main thing here is you have a lot of things being blocked. On the second wave, where BBK is here, we have to kill her as fast as possible. Here, after her 5th turn, she deals 100% more damage, and then on her 11th turn, say bye-bye. So we have to try and rush her down, though she is immune to increases in damage proportional to max HP, this means Daydream Joker. Also, she has 2 very annoying adds with her. This yellow guy here, he has a passive where he is above 30% HP, and also, this 30% HP thing is relevant because he can only take 25% of his HP per hit, so you have to hit him 3 times to get him below 30% HP with the timer on BBK, and also with her healing the lowest HP ally after she attacks. There's no point in trying to kill either of these adds, I would say. But anyways, his passive is you get no CR combat readiness increases, and also no extra turns. So Commander Lorina S1 and Tamarinne Idol S2 CR pushes are gone. Commander Lorina S3 Soulburn, Tamarinne Idol, or not Idol, just Tamarinne S3, and Camilla S2 all won't give extra turns. And then also his, or let's look over the other passive first. The Dark one, he has the same HP passives, but you can't get any passives, so you're sealed. For this team, it's really just Commander Lorina S2. You lose a bit of attack and a bit of defense, and also you can't get decreased cooldown, reset cooldown, all that jazz. That's Ras S2 Soulburn. If you Soulburn it, you won't get S2 back, and also Tamarinne. It's easy to forget, but her S1 and her S2 actually reduce her S3 cooldown by 1 turn every time she uses them. So after your initial idol, you're probably not getting idol back, or you're not even probably, you're just not getting idol back for the rest of the fight. On wave 2 anyways. So these things are important to note. You have a lot of things just missing during this fight. Their S1s are also annoying, or at least this one. This one attacks 2 enemies and dispels 1 buff, and also dispels 1 debuff. This means your attack buff on Commander Lorina, bye-bye. Your attack buff on Camilla is also gone. This straight up makes Camilla, like, borderline useless for however many turns until her S2 comes back up, though there are a couple ways around this. And then this guy, his S1's whatever. It's kind of annoying. You get pushed back a little bit, and BBK gets pushed up a little bit, but not nearly as bad as the light one. Also, here, when you use a non-attack skill, she gets Reflect for 1 turn. And Reflect, basically, just don't hit into it. This means that we have to time our important non-attack skills, which is Tamarinne's S3 and also Camilla S2. We have to make sure we time those and only use them when we are not going to attack BBK, before she gets a turn, because this Reflect is only 1 turn. Because we don't want our Commander Lorina to just kill herself. So those are the important things in this fight. And now we can take a look at everyone's stats. First up is Adventurer Ras. Adventurer Ras, this is just his usual plus 15 HP gear from Path of Air, with Aureus as his artifact. Like I said, you can't Soulburn his S2, so you're only going to get to use it pretty much twice during the fight. And that means that, for one, we're going to have a lot of extra souls. These extra souls that we would typically use on Ras S1 get used in other places. One of them is, I have Kazran here. Kazran is really nice to have in this fight, just because the important thing is the increased attack for 2 turns. BBK's pretty much immune to his damage, and you can't get the CR push, but this increased attack for 2 turns, even though it costs a hefty 40 souls, can be useful for reapplying attack buff on your Commander Lorina and your Camilla if they get stripped by the light add. And this is just because Ras Soulburn is useless, Commander Lorina Soulburn is also useless, so we have a lot of souls to work with. Next, let's take a look at Tamarinne. Tamarinne, this is her usual plus 15, or not plus 15, but it's her usual gear from Path of Air that we got for doing her connection, and you just plus 15 it and put it on her. Since we can't get CR pushes in this fight, or at least on the second wave, you could opt to swap it out, though there's not too many options. Warhorn, if you're not using it on Camilla, you could use. You could also give her something like Celestine, because we're not really using that many non-attack skills. Celestine could be nice for the healing. It's also worth noting that we actually use Tamarinne's Soulburn S1 here pretty often, just because we want to not use non-attack skills, so our healing we can just get from Soulburning S1 instead. Next up is Camilla. Camilla, we have, well, first off, I guess I should mention her S1 Soulburn. 100% chance to duel. Since we have spare souls to work with, might as well use this whenever you're attacking with her and she has attack buff. And then for her stats, it's just give her whatever gear that is decently fast, decently tanky, with at least 60 effectiveness. And then Warhorn, just to boost the attack of Commander Lorina a little bit. And then lastly, we have Commander Lorina here, who is just on the usual destruction end set. Whatever your best set is, give it to her. And we are using Symbol of Unity because BBK is immune to Daydream Joker, so there's no point in using that artifact. And just because this floor is really annoying, I'll mention a couple of alternatives here. I'm sticking with like this general concept of a dual attack based team. Your alternatives is one, this is a very hard to get option, but if you have ML Arunka for some reason, which is going to be pretty hard since she's not on banner anymore, but if you have ML Arunka, she's actually kind of insane here. Her passive is sealed, you can't get this ferocious stand thing, so you're still subject to your other units getting targeted, but her S1 is pretty similar to Ras S2 in terms of it has a chance to inflict Death Break, plus it has a dual attack from the ally with the highest attack. However, since it's on her S1, this means that you don't actually need any sort of cooldown reduction stuff, so while Ras can't spam his S2 in this fight, ML Arunka can spam her S1, so I actually think she's pretty sick here, even with her S2 being gone. She's basically just an alternative Ras for this fight. If you somehow have her, then you can use her here. And then some other options is, I suppose I should stay in Journal. There is an alternative for Camilla. The trade-off here is that she doesn't have Death Break, nor does she have attack buff. But, where is she? Kitty Clarissa. Her S3 is a non-attack skill, so you have the same issue as Camilla S2, where you have to use a non-attack skill, but her S1 will duel if she has Loveliness, but Loveliness is undispellable, so you'll be able to keep on spamming this. Since she has no Death Break though, you might want a more consistent Death Breaker in the first slot. ML Arunka is a very expensive option, but if you have some sort of other consistent Death Breaker, like maybe you could try Brieg, Kitty Clarissa could be an option, and there's also a more premium option of Archdemon Shadow. Archdemon Shadow with her EE, when you use her S1, you will get a dual attack from the ally with the highest attack, and this has no conditions. So you can just spam it. So her S1, same thing. You don't have Death Break and you don't attack buff, so those are some issues with this unit. Pretty similar to Kitty, it's just you don't have to use a non-attack skill, which is kind of nice. And then for the other alternatives is you could try using somebody like Fene in the DPS slot over Commander Lorina if you have her. But this is a team that I will be using. It's pretty much the cheapest possible team. And now we can take a look at the run. So here, I'm going to play this at 3x speed because this floor this wave just takes forever. Without speeding it up, it took 5 minutes and 20 seconds for me to kill this boss. We're going to kill the ads first, just because they are annoying. They do a lot of damage, and it's just, I prefer killing them off just for more safety. We have enough time to kill the boss anyways. It's pretty safe on this floor. There's just some RNG factors that might make your entry into Wave 2 a little bit worse. So right there you saw Commander Lorina almost died, but more importantly, her Solitude Rune got procced. The Solitude Rune, which is the barrier that Ras gives Commander Lorina, is really nice to have as insurance in Wave 2, just to prevent her from getting sniped out by Lovely Karin's S2 into S1 combo as often. So losing that kind of sucks, but because the attempts take so long, I just go for it anyways. And also, that giant nuke on the S3 does get stronger over time because the boss has stacking attack and also speed. But you kind of do want to hurry a little bit. Just once it gets like around 15% HP, maybe a little bit lower, you can slow it down and try to make sure that you actually have your skills up going into Wave 2. The important skills, of course, being Ras S2, Ras S3, Tamarinne S3, Commander Lorina S3, and Camilla S2. So you're not necessarily going to actually always have them going into the next floor due to certain RNG circumstances. Also, you want to try to make sure you have as many souls as possible. Frost almost died there, but here, you're going to see the boss is on S1. He hits Commander Lorina, and she got death broken. So now I have to make the choice. Do I want to enter Wave 2 with less HP on my Commander Lorina? Do I want to blow certain skills to try and kill this boss faster? In hindsight, I probably made the wrong move. I should have just used S2 here and healed up. We have death buff. It would have more or less canceled out the death break. I used Hammer S3 instead to just heal and also push up. And instead of using Ras S2, we can use Camilla S1. It'll be enough to kill. But now, Tamarinne's pretty much done for the fight. This is her last turn vital. We just do a little bit of damage, and she can't do anything anymore except for Soul Burn S1. We use her on attack skill here. You can see the Reflect buff, and the attack buff instantly got stripped. Pretty unfortunate. We're also not going to attack BBK because she has the Reflect buff. Of course, BBK instantly attacks our Commander Lorina. Very annoying. Since she has Death Break and we have attack buff, I opt to use S3 here. And now with Tamarinne, we have to heal up, so we're going to use Idol S1. And that is pretty much our main healing source for this fight. So, we are just waiting a little bit. Our Death Break is going to get cleansed here. And very lucky, honestly, that Commander Lorina resisted the attack buff strip. Though, it doesn't matter too much because on this turn, we're just going to Kazran. This is to reapply the attack buff on Camilla. Since the yellow ad just went, we're not at danger of having it get stripped. So we can hit BBK a bit more here. We can Soul Burn this for the higher chance at Death Break. And here we get a pretty lucky resist on Camilla. This means she has one more turn of being able to dual attack. This Ras S3 is also a mistake. You don't want to use this yet because you ideally want to use this right before BBK uses S3. And as of now, there is a chance that the yellow ad strips it. We have our other Camilla turn here, so we'll Soul Burn this for a bit more damage, or the higher chance of Death Break. So the yellow ad doesn't hit Commander Lorina, luckily. So also, if BBK's S2 went into Commander Lorina, she would die here anyways. Now, thanks to the death buff, we're able to tank the BBK S3. So here, there is the option of using Camilla S2. Since the purple ad is going to push up BBK, BBK would move before Commander Lorina, plus Commander Lorina got pushed back there. But the yellow ad also has the chance to strip the attack buff. That one, you have options. I opted to not use it, so I could A-Ras S2 here safely. And now, there's no point using the S2, so I just S1 for the Death Break chance, and we have Death Break, and we S3, and she's finally dead. In hindsight, I played this floor very, very badly, but I went over my mistakes so you could know what not to do.